Part 85. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 841. Chapter 841 Lan Ren calls Lu Jing. Huo Linyuan looked at Lan Min. Didn't say anything. But just such a look made Lan Min feel uneasy. After a long time, Huo Linyuan spoke, I know you are pregnant, and your emotions are a bit sensitive. I can't say anything. I hope you can understand some things, such as why I keep you by my side. Otherwise, the two of us will be together. No one is good looking, and I know you are very kind, and you are very kind to people and things in general, so I hope you can give your kindness to the child in your belly and prevent anything from happening to the child in your belly. Jian'er, I think you can understand what I mean. What about our children? What's wrong with our child? Will my Huo Linyuan's child be ostracized by someone? What's wrong with you? Do you think you are pregnant, and then I have to? Lan Min's face changed immediately when he heard this. Then he hurriedly said, No, I don't have such an idea, Linyuan, I really don't have any such idea that I am pregnant, so I can do anything. I really don't have such an idea. Although Huo Linyuan was a little irritable, he could understand the pregnant woman's mood. I can understand how much you think, but you also have to understand me. If you don't understand me, I will be annoyed too. I understand, of course I understand, Linyuan, I just think too much, don't take my words to heart. But when Lan Min said this, he felt really uncomfortable. It is true that Huo Linyuan's children will not be talked about, but they just won't be talked about in front of their faces. He was born out of wedlock after all. What we will encounter in the future. At this moment, Huo Linyuan's cell phone rang. He perfunctorily kissed Lan Min's cheek. Okay, don't think about it. The more you think about it, it may not be good for the child in your belly. Do you hope that the child in your belly will be fine? What's the problem? By the way, I have something to do in my company. I'll go to the study to do some work first. I'll come with you when I'm done, be good. But these words are still perfunctory as they are. Huo Linyuan disappeared without even waiting for Lan Ren to say anything. Lanji looked at the empty living room. There is really anger in my heart. What's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? She just wanted to give her child a decent name, and at the same time, she began to resent God in her heart. Why would God do this? It would be great if she had a good family background like Sunian, then this wouldn't be the case. At the same time, I am also thinking about what time it is now. Why do we still have such feudalism? What is worthy or not? The Qing dynasty died early. If she had chosen Li Baikan or Lu Jing, wouldn't this be the case? The more such thoughts came up, the more irritable Lan Min felt. After all, Li Baikan or Lu Jing were once within reach of her. If she had agreed at that time, neither Li Baikan nor Lu Jing would have treated her so coldly. Metropolis. When he thought of this, Lan Min couldn't help but pick up the phone. She struggled for a long time before making a call. The call was made by none other than Lu Jing. After all, her relationship with Lu Jing is not that bad. But even after calling Lu Jing, Lan Min still felt a little worried. Worried that Lu Jing would not answer his call. But I didn't expect to answer the phone as soon as it rang. Ha, you finally called me. I thought you wouldn't call me. Do you know how uneasy I felt while I was waiting for your call? Fortunately, you finally called me. Called. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jung Word. Chapter 842. Chapter 842 Lu Jing couldn't help but praise himself in his heart. These words successfully made Lan Ji feel relieved. She knew it. She knew about her relationship with Lu Jing for so many years. How could Lu Jing fall out so quickly? Absolutely not. Just when Lan Shi was about to say something, Lu Jing's voice sounded again, "Hey, and son, why don't you speak? I really listened to you this time. If you said you were busy, I would hang up. Can't I just put down the phone and wait for you to call me? And son. What does this mean?" But what Lu Jing meant was to treat her as. When Lan Zhen thought of this, Lu Jing's confused voice rang out, "Why don't you speak? Oh, it's you, Lan Zhen. I'm really sorry. I thought it was my aunt's Sunday. I'm really sorry. What's the matter with you? If you have nothing to do, then I will hang up. After all, if Aunt Sun calls me at this time, the line will be busy. In this case, I will not be able to answer the phone, and Aunt Sun may be angry with me." In just one sentence, I called several Aunt Sun. This made Lan Min couldn't help but ask, "Lu Jing, do you really regard Sun Ying'er as your aunt?" I didn't go there and say, "Yes, that's what I am." If I'm not like that, then why should I recognize my aunt? Isn't this just because I'm full? Such a confident tone made Lan Ji couldn't help but wonder if there was something wrong with his ability to understand. Could it be that I had misunderstood it? Could it be that Sun Yan and the others were not insulting Lu Jing by doing this? Could it be that? "Lanji, what on earth do you want to say? If you really don't have anything to say, then I really have to hang up the phone. You may not know that my aunt's son has a very bad temper." Then Lan Min quickly spoke before Lu Jing could speak, "Lu Jing, do you really want to sever ties with me? Yes, do you still doubt it now? It doesn't matter if I keep in touch with you. If that's the case, then why should I get along with you? Hey, is this the reason for your call? If it's for this, then isn't it a waste of your time? Lu Jing, I really don't want to. It's important whether you want it or not. Anyway, you won't give me what I want. If you don't give it, you won't give it. This is a democratic era. If you don't want to give it, then I won't ask for it. Oh, I really don't have it. I'm here to talk to you at some time, that's it. I'll talk about it when I have time." After Lu Jing said that, he hung up the phone. This made Lan Min feel a little stunned when he looked at the beeping phone. She really never thought that Lu Jing would treat her like this. To value another woman so much. Even Lan Min felt that Lu Jing had never treated him like this. Why is this happening? Why are these people who keep saying they want to protect them for the rest of their lives gone? Is their life so short? When Lan Min thought of this, he felt uncomfortable. At the same time, Lu Jingzhe hung up the phone and really felt a lot more relaxed. It seems that once you give up on some things, you may feel a lot better. Lu Jing could not help but give himself a thumbs up in his heart. At this moment, Lu Jing's phone rang again. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 843. Chapter 843 And Son, Here I Come. With the lesson learned just now, Lu Jing looked at the caller ID first, and his eyes lit up again when he saw Sun Ying'er's name. "Hand in," he answered the call directly. "And Sun, you finally called me. Are you in a good mood today? If you are in a good mood, how about I go find you? I haven't seen you for a long time." And Sun on the other side of the phone was very indifferent when she heard this. Who was that person wandering in front of me the day before yesterday? Is it a ghost? And Sun, you can't say that. It really hurts me so much. Do you really not miss me at all? Sun Ying'er, I don't want to. Lu Jing, and Sun, you said it so simply. You must be duplicitous. I know how you can miss me. You must miss me very much. After all, I am not an ordinary man. I am famous. Mr. Lu, it's impossible for other women to have me by their side. Sun Ying-er over there laughed a few times. These laughters really made Lu Jing breathe a sigh of relief. And Sun, is that okay? Sun Ying-er on the other side of the phone looked impatient and said directly, you can come if you want. Will what I say be of any use to you? When Lu Jingzhe heard this, he immediately stood up, and Sun, that's what I'm waiting for. Just wait, I'll be there right away. I'll definitely be there right away. Don't worry, I'll definitely be there in the shortest possible time come to you. Actually, I'm not in a hurry. If you slow down a little, nothing will happen. But Lu Jing didn't think so, and Sun, don't be so duplicitous. I know what you are thinking. You must really want to see me. After all, there is probably no one as sensible as me in this world, nephew. Don't be anxious, it's really not good if you are anxious. Sun Ying-er really couldn't listen anymore and hung up the phone directly. After hanging up the phone, she pinched her brow bone helplessly. I don't know if it's Sun Ying-er's illusion. Why does she feel that this Lu Jing is becoming more and more rogue? With such a scoundrel appearance, he still wants to get married, so that woman can fall in love with him. Half an hour later, there was a knock on the door in Sun Ying-er's office. She looked up and saw Lu Jing cautiously poking his head in. How can I put it, it's as funny as you want it to be. She realized that if she stayed with Lu Jing for too long, she might actually be laughed to death by Lu Jing. This guy is really, not reliable at all. It can even be said that I have no idea what the word reliable means. And Sun, I'm here. Sun Ying-er looked away and simply said After seeing that Sun Ying-er's expression was not bad, Lu Jing hurried in. But when he saw a lot of things on Sun Ying-er's desk, he couldn't help but said, and Sun, actually I never understand why you have so many things to do every day. You know the wealthy ladies I know, we are always shopping or shopping. It's not like this at all. In fact, I really don't understand why you are always so busy. It feels like you are always busy with a lot of things and you can never finish it. A feeling of. The reason why Lu Jing said this was because every time he came here, he seemed to be causing trouble and interfering with her feeling of doing business. This made the situation really uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 844. Chapter 844. Lu Jing suddenly felt useless. When Sun Ying-er heard this, she immediately threw the things in her hands on the table. What do you mean by this? Do you mean that I can only rely on men? If this is really what you think, then I hope you can disappear in front of me in the shortest possible time. If you don't disappear, I really don't know what I will do. Lu Jing was really innocent when he heard this, and Sun, what do you mean? What's wrong with me? I'm just worried about you, and you are so busy every day. I really feel that this place is just for you to cause trouble, which makes me feel a little embarrassed. Sun Ying-er really didn't expect Lu Jing to say such words. Lu Jing actually still has such thoughts. If you really think so, then just don't appear in front of me. But when Lu Jing heard this, he hurriedly shook his head. How can that be done? If that's the case, then and Sun, you don't know how much you miss me. How could I let such a thing happen? If you don't come, then you will definitely wonder how I could let you miss me. Sun Ying-er looked at Lu Jing. She really felt like Lu Jing had taken the wrong medicine now. It really feels like taking the wrong medicine. Always say that. Why don't you speak human language today? 50. If I don't speak human language, then how can you, and Sun, understand and Sun? Aren't you very smart? Why don't you even know this? Lu Jing was forgetful after saying this, and looked at Sun Ying-er with disgust. Such a look really made Sun Ying-er a little unbearable. What does it mean? This guy is really a bit too much. You. When Lu Jing saw Sun Ying'er's face, he knew it was too much, and immediately said, "And son, don't be angry. I was just talking and joking. Really, don't be angry. You have to know that the more angry you are, the worse it will be. Women will age very quickly when they are angry. It is really not worth it for you to age quickly for someone like me." Sun Ying'er didn't say anything this time, just looking at the scenery quietly. Such a look in his eyes really made Lu Jing feel uneasy. What's going on? Didn't the internet say that women like bad men? He is so bad and witty, why is he like this? Just when Lu Jing wanted to order something to lighten the atmosphere, Sun Ying'er's voice sounded again, "Didn't I live like this before?" But, in the end, there was nothing. I was not favored by the family at all. My role in the family was just a marriage, or even apart from marriage, I have no use, but now I have my own career. To put it bluntly, even if my family feels that I have no so-called use value in the future, then there will be no so-called use for me. Threaten. Lu Jing was slightly stunned when he heard this. Why does he feel a little useless now? It's a complete waste. When he realized this, he scratched his head in embarrassment. But at this moment, Sun Ying'er thought of another thing. Then he looked at him with a scrutinizing look, "But you just reminded me of another thing. You hang around me almost every day. Do you really have nothing to do?" These words really stunned Lu Jing. "I can do anything." The more this happened, the more Sun Ying'er became disgusted. "What can you do? You are in charge of a company after all. Is it possible that there will be any problems with the company just like this?" End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 845. Chapter 845. Lu Jing, no, 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 I will never give you a chance to regret. Who would have thought that Lu Jing would naturally say, "There is my father." Such a short tone really made Sun Ying'er not know what to say. Why does it feel like Lu Jing is still a little proud? Lu Jing was a little embarrassed when Sun Ying'er looked at him like this, and then he touched his head. "I know what you are thinking, and son, but this really has nothing to do with me. I also want to be the kind of person who has the power in the company, but my old man doesn't want to. My old man thinks that I am the kind of person who succeeds more than fails. If I want to manage the company, it is better for him to do it himself." Sun Ying'er. She looked at Lu Jing carefully. "Why do you think what Lu Jing said makes sense?" "It makes perfect sense." Lu Jing said again, "The biggest thing my old man said is that it is better to have a barbecued pork than to have me, so I hope I can start a family and start a business soon. You also know my situation. It is really not easy for me to get married. My mission is to get married and have children as soon as possible, and Sunday now I really feel that I am so useless I can't do anything, even I can't get married and start a business. Why is this happening?" These words really made Sun Ying'er not sure how to answer it. "Well, actually sometimes I still feel a little pitiful when I hear Lu Jing say these words. This. I know you hate me, you can even say you hate me, but I'm doing this to hone my will. No matter how you treat me like this, I won't say anything." Lu Jing was saying this. I kept sighing all the time. Well, of course Lu Jing had other ideas when he did this. He knew that Sun Ying'er was somewhat famous in the city's circles. If you can let these wealthy nobles know that he has changed through Sun Ying'er's mouth, wouldn't your lifelong affairs be easy? That's right, Lu Jing is so smart. So super smart. Sun Ying'er really didn't know what to say. What did this guy mean? This guy seemed to have turned her into a whetstone. It was really hateful. This guy is really hateful, super hateful. Sun Ying'er glared at him fiercely. "Why did you? And son, what's your expression? You look like this. Why do you feel like you don't want me to be by your side? Why?" Didn't you keep saying before that you could let me be by your side? How long has it been? This is really a bit unfulfilled. After Lu Jing said this, he looked at her with pitiful eyes. This pitiful look. Well, Sun Ying-er admitted that she should not have been soft-hearted in the first place. Now I'm stuck with this guy. Sun Ying-er responded coldly, I know what I promised you, and I have never regretted it. Really, do you really have no regrets? The pitiful expression on Lu Jing's face suddenly disappeared. The whole process was allowed to be witnessed by Sun Ying-er. Such a process really made Sun Ying-er really don't know what to say, so she turned her attention to the document again. What's the use of regretting it? Can you give me a chance to regret it? Lu Jingzhe shook his head quickly after hearing this. No, 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 I will never give you a chance to regret it, absolutely not. Don't worry, I definitely won't. What else could Sun Ying-er do? She could only simply smile. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 846. Chapter 846, Can't Keep Up with Thinking. In fact, Sun Ying-er knew that although Lu Jing was usually a bit unreliable, she might not be able to keep up with his thinking. No, she probably couldn't understand his thinking. But most of the time, Lu Jing brought her some joy. It even feels like I have raised a cute puppy. Ahem, it's just a simple metaphor. But these days, Lu Jing gradually felt a little embarrassed when he saw Sun Ying-er working so seriously. After all, Sun Ying-er is a woman who works so seriously. In this comparison, it really looks like he is a waste. In this situation, Lu Jing had to do something. After all, if he doesn't do something, he will feel like a waste. You must know that he is a man, and he is a real man. Such a result leads to a situation. Father Lu appeared in front of Sun Ying-er. Sun Ying-er was really confused when she saw Lu's father. What does this mean? Why did Lu Jing's father come to find him? Such a situation made Sun Ying-er really confused. But the circle of the city is so big, how could Sun Ying-er not know Lu Jing's father? When she saw the person coming, she stood up immediately. Lu. Sit down quickly, don't be polite, you really don't want to be too polite. But this situation really makes Sun Ying-er a little restless. This feeling is how you feel when your child's parents come to see you when you make a mistake as a child. This feeling is really strange. But Father Lu said directly, Miss Sun, don't be so reserved. If you are so reserved, then I really don't know what to do. After all, the purpose of my coming here is to thank you. Grateful. These words really made Sun Ying-er unable to accept them. Uncle Lu, I call you this, do you think it's okay? Unexpectedly, Father Lu shook his head directly when he heard this. Of course not. Sun Ying-er is really so embarrassed. What should we do now? The key is that Sun Ying-er is really guilty. The reason why this is so is because her attitude towards Lu Jing is really not good, it can even be said to be bad. Now that Mr. Lu is looking for her, she really feels like he is looking for trouble for her, but then she thinks about it, Lu Jing is so old after all, so how could Father Lu bring trouble for her? But now I say thank you, and I refuse like this. It really makes Sun Ying-er feel like she's doing nothing wrong. When Mr. Lu saw Sun Ying-er's helpless look, he laughed directly. Don't be nervous, I mean, if you really call me uncle, then there will be a problem with our seniority, you know that brat in my family, but I called you aunt. Hearing this, Sun Ying-er immediately breathed a sigh of relief. What do you mean by being like this? You make me feel like I have done something terrible. I am really here to thank you. Father Lu was extremely sincere when he said this. In this way, I am really not afraid of your jokes. My son has never been a good boy. I have tried many ways, but he is like a pile of mud. I can't hold him up against the wall. But things have changed recently. My son seems to have changed recently. He has started to take over the company. When I found out about his taking over the company, I was really scared. I was afraid that he would do something stupid again. But I didn't expect that this time it would actually be honest. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 847. Chapter 847 Like son, like father. This is all your credit. If it weren't for you, then that brat in my family would definitely not be so diligent. It is no exaggeration to say that you are really a great benefactor to my family. Great benefactor. When Sun Ying-er heard this, she quickly said, No, no, you really went too far. I am not that powerful, but Mr. Lu is. In fact, Mr. Lu is very powerful. Mr. Lu has done a lot something that impressed me. How can I put it this way? It's really weird to praise Lu Jing like this. I really didn't expect that one day she would praise Lu Jing, even out loud. But Father Lu knew his son very well. Hey, Miss Sun, you really don't need to praise me like this. I know my son's virtues better than anyone else. The more you behave like this, the more embarrassed I feel. That can. Okay, I won't talk nonsense to you anymore, let's get down to business. Down to business. When she heard these two words, Sun Ying-er suddenly felt bad. What does Lu Jing's father want to do? Really don't mess around. Then I saw Father Lu hand over something similar to a book. These things can be regarded as a meeting gift from me, the older brother, to you, my little sister. Meeting gift. If the education she had never received told her that she needed to take care of her own self-cultivation, then Sun Ying-er might have shown a surprised expression. An expression like that of a monkey. These are the things I think are suitable for you at the recent auction. Can you take a look? Since Lu Jing's mother passed away, I really haven't had any contact with women, so I really don't know what you women like. I just bought some. Lu, Mr. Lu, there shouldn't be any problem if I call you this, but you really don't need to be so polite. I really haven't done anything. I really can't accept these things from you. If you accept it, then I. At this moment, Father Lu suddenly changed the topic. Actually, I don't give you these things for nothing. I also have my own purpose. This couldn't help but make Sun Ying-er feel relieved subconsciously. My purpose is very simple. I hope you can teach my Lu Jing well, tell my Lu Jing what to do, and teach my Lu Jing well. Father Lu sighed after saying this. I know that what I said is really a bit too much. After all, as Lu Jing's father, how can I expect you to do something that I, Lu Jing's father, can't do, but I really have no choice. Now I still have some ability and can still support the company. What if something happens to me? Although Lu Jing does seem to be a bit of a jerk, he is my biological son. Sun Ying-er listened obediently. But what I was thinking about was. She finally understood why Lu Jing was so virtuous. It turns out that like son, like father. Although Father Lu had no problem when he said this, the key point is that Lu Jing, his son, is now in his 20s. In a few years, he may be 30 years old. To entrust such a good old man to two others, even complete strangers. This is something a normal person can do. Sun Ying-er is really curious about what evil she has done. Why should you let yourself encounter such a thing? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 848. Chapter 848 Can't have sympathy for Lu Jing. But the next day, Sun Ying's mood improved. The reason why this happened was because she knew that Father Lu also went to find Sunian. Although some things are uncomfortable for you, once you know that your sisters have also suffered the same treatment, you will feel particularly good and interesting. Hey, what is going on with me? I clearly wanted to humiliate Lu Jing at the beginning. Why did I get involved now? What is going on? Why is this happening? Is there anyone who can explain it to me? Why on earth, I'm really broken now. Sunian was really speechless this time. If she had known this was the case, she would not have said that to Lu Jing. Sunian has lived in the world of this novel all his life. But she felt that she really couldn't understand the logic of this novel world, as if anything could happen in this novel world, and she was really speechless. Okay, let's tell us something very important this time. Sunian, who was sighing with a hammer, looked at her after hearing this. What? This also lets us know how great Father's love is. We generally think that Mother's love is so great. Now we know how great and touching Father's love is, right? When Sunian heard this, she laughed out loud. Sister, you are really good at telling cold jokes. I hope you can also tell me some cold jokes in the summer. Such words, I might save some money on air conditioning, because global warming is very serious now. In this case, I can also contribute to the environmental protection, which will benefit my children and grandchildren. When Sun Ying heard this, she couldn't help complaining. What about you? Isn't what you are saying now a cold joke? The two women laughed when they said this. The atmosphere at the scene was very joyful. They were so happy that they forgot that there was another person at the moment. This person was none other than the center of conversation between the two women. Lu Jing. Hearing their disgusting words, Lu Jing couldn't help but timidly said, two good aunts, I have something to say, can I interrupt you for a moment? After Lu Jing finished speaking, Sun Ying and Sunian both looked over. Lu Jing cleared his throat weakly, and then said, well, I really don't have any objection to the bad things you said. It's good that you two are happy. After all, if I can make you happy, then it's also my luck, but, you can't say it in front of me. It's really embarrassing for you to say it in front of me. Lu Jing looked aggrieved when he said this. And if Sun Ying feels sympathy for Lu Jing now, then she is a fool, a super fool. So he walked directly in front of Lu Jing. There is something wrong with you when you say this. After all, if you really don't mind, then you won't say it. You just say it because you mind. What's wrong? Now we are here, isn't it okay for two elders to talk about you in front of you? What else can you do in your heart? Lu Jing. Lu Jing coughed lightly and said, that's not what I meant. It really didn't mean that. And son, you are talking nonsense. It really didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. You. That's not what you mean, then tell me what you mean, and what do you mean by explaining it to me carefully? Lu Jing really wanted to slap himself in the mouth now. He really didn't know why his mouth was so speechless. Ah. It's so bad, so bad. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 849. Chapter 849. This Lu Jing is really awesome, very awesome. You really can't do this, and son, this is really a bit too bullying. As an elder, you bully the younger generation. Do you think this is really appropriate? If it spreads, it will make people laughing. Lu Jing knew that it was impossible for him to speak against Sun Ying-er. It's not even nice to say it. Even if he had said it, the end would not be good. Since this is the case, we can only think of other ways. Stop crying, you are a grown man, what are you talking about when you whine like this? When Lu Jing heard this, he suddenly felt happy. I knew my opportunity had come. It's finally here. He immediately spoke directly, and son, how do you know I am a man? Sun Ying-er. Did this guy say something wrong? What did this guy say? Does he know? Lu Jing knew clearly what he said, but he also knew from Sun Ying-er's face that he was right, and son, have you tried it? If you haven't tried it, how do you know I am a man? And son, do you know you can't talk nonsense? As a man, I do admit that that aspect of myself is a bit too much. But it cannot be said. Hey, it is said that a tree is like a bark, and a person is like a face. In this case, in a world where everyone wants to be shameless, if someone is shameless, will this person be very popular? That's right, he, Lu Jing, is so witty. But just when Lu Jing was feeling proud, the way Sun Ying-er looked at him suddenly changed. When Lu Jing came to his senses, he suddenly lost his composure. And son, what's your look, what's wrong with you, do you have an eye problem? Sun Ying-er didn't say anything, she just walked around Lu Jing. Just such a circle really made Lu Jing feel a little frightened. Sun Ying-er wants to say something, whatever. When Lu Jing wanted to speak again, Sun Ying-er's voice sounded, I used to think that you, Lu Jing, had a brain problem, but I didn't expect that you are still a pervert. You are really hopeless. I think I completely understand why your father gave so many things to me and Nian Nian. Hey, a poor old father can really do anything for his son. Lu Jing was unhappy when he heard this, no, and son, can't you tell that I'm making a dirty joke? Sunian, who was beside him, couldn't help but sigh inwardly when he heard Lu Jing's words. This silly boy. There really is no such silly child in this world. There are indeed many men who make dirty jokes, but Sunian guarantees that there will not be another one like Lu Jing, who will say it outright when others say it. Looking so dumbfounded, you really are as stupid as you are. Not to mention anything else, even in the current situation, we are at a disadvantage. This Lu Jing is really stupid. You clearly know that this is bad behavior, but you insist on saying it. I understand that you are doing this just to show off, to prove that you are better than the person standing in front of you, and even this woman is your aunt. You tell me, is this a bit too much for you? God knows how difficult it was for Sun Ying-er to finish saying these words. She really wanted to laugh. Such nonsense. The key is that Lu Jing still believes it seriously. This Lu Jing is really awesome. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 850. Chapter 850. After all, I collected so many things from Father Lu. It does seem to make sense. Lu Jing's face was full of contemplation. Sun Ying-er. Sunian. In fact, Sun Ying-er was really confused when getting along with Lu Jing. His innocent appearance always makes Sun Ying-er feel guilty. But, Lu Jing is being mean again. Sigh, this Lu Jing really doesn't know what to do. Lu Jing wanted to say something. If you really can't think of anything to say, just go out, think slowly, and don't disturb us from doing things. Lu Jingzhe nodded after hearing this, then turned around and walked outside. Sunian and Sun Ying-er couldn't help but smile at each other. But before the two of them had finished laughing, Lu Jing's voice sounded again, that's it, no, I feel something is wrong, let's talk about it again. When Sun Ying-er heard this, she raised her head and looked at him. I didn't expect it but bumped into it directly. Then Sunian saw idol dramas and the most terrible scenes in Mary Sue novels. If you fall down, you must kiss Sun Ying-er. But the key point was that before Sun Ying-er could react, Lu Jing pushed her away and looked at her in horror. My first kiss, how did you take away my first kiss? Are you really, unacceptable? Sun Ying-er. If she remembers correctly, she should tell her this. There is something really wrong with this plot. The key is that this Lu Jing continued, don't you know that I am stupid and not liked by girls? Now you have made me dirty so that I will not be liked by them. Why are you like this? This is really a bit too much, woo. Then Lu Jing left. Soiled. These 3 words really made Sun Ying-er feel what it means to be struck by thunder. Really are. Sunian Gang was still complaining in his heart. It is really a bit rude to have such a plot in this Mary Sue. But I didn't expect that things would develop like this. I'm really speechless. Open the door for me. I'm speechless and I'm home. The key is that the confused look in her sister Sun Ying-er's eyes is really funny. Sunian walked up to Sun Ying-er and patted her shoulder. Sister, I want to ask you, how do you feel about harming a good family man? Do you feel any so-called guilt now? If you really feel guilty, you can confess to me. Do you want to know? Sunian nodded obediently. When Sunian finished speaking, Sun Ying-er curled her lips and said, if you really want to know, then go and experience it for yourself. Sunian, how can I feel what you said? I am not as lucky as you, sister. What's so difficult about this? I'll call Lu Jing over right away, Sun Ying-er said with a sinister smile. I will definitely satisfy you, but I'm particularly curious about what you would do if Baikan saw this scene. What are the consequences? Sunian coughed lightly when he heard this. Although I know that my consequences may not be very good, I really have a little expectation in my heart. Okay, don't look forward to it. If you really play like this, I don't know what the consequences will be for you, but I know that Lu Jing will definitely die. After all, we have collected so many things from his father. We are so cruel, it's really a bit bad. Sunian couldn't help but touch his nose when he heard this. It's not such an exaggeration. What does it mean that there is no such exaggeration? There must be such exaggeration, trust me, there must be such exaggeration. End of this chapter.